Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So, I know I'm a little late to the news, but I wanted to go ahead and make my video about the situation. I've been real busy doing all kind of other stuff. But anyway, so Adrian Broner is demanding Marcos Maidana for a rematch immediately. Okay? And, what makes this so interesting is all of the people that have been advising Adrian Broner not to make this move. Okay, he's had a lot of people supporting him, telling him to don't take this fight, it's too early, move down to 140. You're not big enough to fight at 147. This is what all the people have been saying, right? And then you even have the people like Maidana, who beat Adrian Broner, who's also surprised the move that Adrian Broner is pulling. You're hearing Marcos Maidana say, this is ridiculous. Why do I have to fight him right away? Why is Adrian Broner making me fight him right away? I shouldn't have to fight him right away, et cetera, et cetera. And this is just ridiculous. It's even surprising Marcos Maidana what Adrian Broner is pulling. That tells you a lot, guys. That tells you a lot. I'm going to tell you something right now. No matter what you think about Adrian Broner, you would have to admit this man has more heart than the average boxer. He has more heart than the average champion right now. He has more heart than the average person, the average fighter who makes everything about pride and country. Adrian Broner has more heart than a lot of those guys. Because I can guarantee you, the majority of top-notch champions would not lose a fight the way Adrian Broner lost his fight to Marcos Maidana and immediately come back and rematch that person. Not too many people would do that. And not only are we just talking about a rematch, but we're talking about a rematch in a higher division, a higher weight class than this fighter is used to fighting at. Okay? That is rare that you see that. So you got to give Adrian Broner a lot of credit. All right? Now, you got to give fighters like Abner Mares credit, too, because he's doing something similar. He's fighting against Johnny Gonzalez in a rematch. But the difference between the two is when Johnny Gonzalez, or I should say when Mares took on Johnny Gonzalez was considered a tune-up bout. Okay? Gonzalez was already considered over the hill past his prime and faded. And that was just a tune-up bout. And Abner Mares got caught and got knocked out, which is the excuse that all of the Mares fans have been using. They've been basically saying, oh, well, anybody can get caught with one good shot. That doesn't mean anything, and et cetera, right? So I'm going off of that theory, which is, yeah, he got caught with a good shot that he didn't see, and it doesn't mean that he was in the ring with Guillermo Rigo. No, he was in the ring. He was still in the ring with a faded Johnny Gonzalez. All right? So the point I'm making is, credit goes out to both of these fighters to take an immediate rematch, but you got to give more credit to Adrian Broner because Adrian Broner was stepping in the ring with a guy who was supposed to be his biggest threat. Okay? Regardless if the majority of us thought that Broner was going to win the fight easy, on paper, Adrian Broner was going to be Marcos Maidana's biggest threat. He was damn near, he just moved up to welterweight, but he was so big at welterweight, Marcos Maidana was, that he looked like a natural welterweight. All right? So Adrian Broner, he has no fear. Adrian Broner has everything to lose when it comes to this rematch and everything to gain. It is the essential example of a gamble. Okay? Everything is on the line right now. He has a chance to win this fight, and obviously Marcos Maidana has a chance to win this fight. Now, there were so many things that happened in the first fight. If you really look at it, when I hear Marcos Maidana saying stuff like, why do I have to fight this guy again? Why do I have to fight him again? I didn't have to, the Amir Khan fight was closer to this. I didn't have to fight him again, et cetera, right? But when he says that, it suggests that when it comes to Marcos Maidana, there are definitely concerns that are bothering or worrying Marcos Maidana. And I think one of those concerns are the way the fight ended. It wasn't until the last round that I seen the Adrian Broner that I expected to see throughout this whole fight. And the Adrian Broner that I had expected to knock out Marcos Maidana. That was the Adrian Broner that I seen in the 12th round. And we seen that Adrian Broner because we knew he was desperate. He knew he had to get a knockdown, a couple knockdowns, or maybe a knockout to win the fight. Okay? Now, that's what I seen in that last round. And what was real, and this is one of the reasons why I don't give Robert Garcia as much credit as some people keep saying you should give. Oh, why are you not giving Robert Garcia the credit he deserves for, what Marcos Maidana did to Adrian Broner? No, I don't really give, Robert Garcia that much credit. He's a good trainer. But the thing is, number one, Garcia didn't change the way that Marcos Maidana boxes. This is always the way Marcos Maidana boxes. This is how he got Victor Ortiz to quit. This is how he got Amir Khan in trouble. And these are fights before he was with Robert Garcia. Now, I remember criticizing Robert Garcia as I was watching the fight live. It was the 12th round, and Robert Garcia was telling his charge, Marcos Maidana, go in there and don't take one step back. Push his ass back. Don't take one step back, right? And I was saying to my friends while I'm watching the fight, I'm like, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. Why would he be telling Marcos Maidana, who's winning the whole fight, who the only way he'll lose this fight is if he gets knocked out, why is he telling him to try to go to war with him in the last round and not take a step back? And as soon as I said that, about 10, 15 seconds later, Broner hurts Maidana for the first time, and all of a sudden you see Maidana backpedaling the same way that Nonair was backpedaling and running when he was fighting against Rigo. So that was the point I made. He sent him in there to do the complete opposite of what he should have been doing, which was just cruising, just coasting. It didn't mean run or anything like that, but, stand in front of him, get your shots off, but don't do anything stupid. So Robert Garcia, he actually told him to go in there and do something stupid. He gave Broner his only chance to win the fight. So basically, the point I'm making is, this is the reason why I feel there is a concern when it comes to Marcos Maidana for taking this rematch, because what if this fight continues where the last one left off? If this fight continues where the last one left off, guess what? Marcos Maidana is in trouble, okay? Marcos Maidana is in trouble. Now I'm not making a prediction on this fight, and I'm definitely not making one right now, especially because of what happened in the first fight. I don't even know if Adrian Broner is even Adrian Broner anymore. But the bottom line is Adrian Broner has a very good chance of winning a rematch, but he would have to really go into his Floyd Mayweather book a whole lot deeper and read that damn book from chapter 1 to chapter 30 if he really wants to fight like Floyd Mayweather, because he does want to beat Floyd Mayweather, but he doesn't have the skills that Floyd Mayweather has. Let's start with some of the skills that are lacking. Like I said, Adrian Broner, he relies solely on the Philly shell, the Floyd shell, whatever you want to call it, that defense. That's his main defense. That's his main weapon, all right? When it comes to Adrian Broner, it's like, this is all I got, is this shell defense. And if this shit doesn't work, we assed out. And that's exactly what happened. He ended up being assed out because he had no other options. Or maybe I should say he had no more tricks up under his sleeve. See, the difference between Adrian Broner and Floyd Mayweather is Floyd Mayweather, he doesn't just use that shell defense. He does so many things at once. For example, he may be in that Philly shell, right? And then as soon as you throw a punch, he may just take a quick little step back like what Juan Marquez does. Now when you throw your power punch, you're completely out of range. And now you're reaching and you're leaving yourself open to be countered. Okay? Floyd Mayweather also does little small things that people don't pay attention. Like, he'll stand up, he'll give you a high guard, right? 1 minute he'll give you a high guard, and then the next minute he'll get real low. Then he'll alternate. He'll go up, he'll go down. Then, like I said, he'll take a jump back. Then he'll slide to the left. He'll slide to the right. Then he'll post up on you with the Philly shell. Then start countering you. And while he's doing all of this stuff, you don't know when he's about to switch from offense to defense, because he transitions so smooth. You can't really tell when he's going right back to offense and right back to defense. This is how he keeps you confused. So, like I said, he's doing so many different things, and Adrian Broner is only doing one thing. He's trying to stand right in front of you flat-footed with the shell defense. So what Adrian Broner is going to have to do is he's going to have to go back and he's going to have to watch a library of Floyd Mayweather videos, all right, to get the shit down pat. But, all I can say is when Adrian Broner let his hands go, and even though he wasn't showing all the different versatility that Floyd Mayweather shows, Adrian Broner was still looking pretty good in that last round. It looked to me like Adrian didn't have the confidence throughout that fight to let his hands go, because there was so many times when Marcos Maidana, he wasn't even punching. Marcos Maidana would throw a couple punches, and then he would pull what I call a Victor Ortiz. For whatever reason, he would just stop punching and just start hopping around the ring and not throwing any punches, virtually giving away the round. And Adrian Broner didn't take advantage of those rounds that Marcos Maidana did that, okay? So it'll be interesting, guys. It'll be interesting to see what will happen. Like I said, this is the true meaning of taking a gamble, because if Adrian Broner wins this fight, he is going to be even bigger than he was before. He's going to be huge if he wins this fight. But if he loses this fight, I believe his career will go downhill from that loss. A lot of people don't pay attention to this, but Marcos Maidana, he really gave Adrian Broner a lot of respect and props. At the end of the fight, when he did his post-fight interviews, he talked about how tough Broner was. He said he was a strong puncher, which I thought was an interesting admission, because, like I said, everyone is thinking that Adrian Broner is too small for the division, and here you hear Marcos Maidana say he was a very strong puncher, which to me, this is the reason why I believe Marcos Maidana is not too crazy to go back in the ring with this guy right away. I think Marcos Maidana is almost feeling like, man, what are you guys trying to do? You trying to erase this great memory that I already have right now? I don't want that to go away. Marcos Maidana is feeling like Marquez right now after Marquez knocked out Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao didn't have a rematch clause, but Adrian Broner did. And that's why Marquez is able to do what he's doing right now, which is celebrate on his biggest victory that he had over Manny Pacquiao and not be forced to give him that additional rematch. And this is what Marcos Maidana is thinking right now. This guy, he's thinking deep down, Broner has a chance to come back and beat me. He has a chance to come back and knock me out. That's not fair. I want to leave the memory exactly the way it is, where I walk out the ring with a crown on my head, dethroning the former king. Okay? But guess what, Marcos Maidana? It ain't going to happen, because you got to get your ass back in the ring with this man. And you're going to have to try to put on the same performance that you did last time, which I think this time it could either be a lot more difficult, or it could be a lot easier, depending on what Adrian Broner has left. And I think Adrian Broner will still have a lot left. I think he will still have a lot left. I think Adrian Broner, like I said, he really needs to start watching some Floyd Mayweather tapes. He really needs to start watching some tapes. It may help him if he watch a little bit of the Ricky Hatton fight, the Diego Corrales fights, even some of the Castillo fights, 1 and 2. I think he needs to watch some tapes, because he's going to have to use his foot. He's going to have to use his foot movement just a little bit. Not a lot. He don't have to run. Just little circular movements, keep it in the center of the ring. He's going to have to, he's going to have to use a lot of feints, and then he's going to have to drop combinations, but he's going to have to be first, though. He's going to have to be first. And he has to take advantage of when Marcos Maidana would just not punch and take minutes off in the round and just move around. Adrian Broner has to take advantage of that. I'm out of time, guys. I'm on to the next one.